Namaste and welcome to FutureReady Nepal. आजको podcast चाहिँ एउटा एकदमै इन्ट्रेस्टिङ podcast छ because and it is a little bit different podcast too किनभने आज चाहिँ हामीसँग एउटा स्पेशल गेस्ट हुनुहुन्छ निर्मल बोलाथोकी and he is going to be sharing his navigation of his American dream and how he made it in USA. Currently he is the Chief Data Scientist at Microsoft, and in this podcast he is going to be sharing not only his journey of how he came to USA and navigated his way, but then what it takes to be in the tech industry in this current world. We also discussed about the challenges of tech industry right now अनि फ्युचरमा यसको के स्कोप छ के छैन डेटा साइन्सको बारेमा कुरा गरेको छौँ हामीले अलिकति एन्ड लिङ्क्डइनको बारेमा पनि कुरा गरेको छौँ सो व्हाट इट टेक्स टु एक्चुअली गेट इन द टेक इन्डस्ट्री इन युएसए राइट नाउ यो सबैको बारेमा आज कुरा भएको छ सो आई होप यु रियली इन्जोय दिस पडकास्ट ही इज a really great person and a mentor to help us Nepalese to become really successfully in USA. So if you have any questions for him, if you want to connect with him, we are also going to leave his LinkedIn profile in the description. So if you want to contact him directly or just go and see उहाँको कुराहरू भने you can reach out to him in LinkedIn. And with all of that said, let's get started with the podcast. But before that, please do subscribe to FutureReady Nepal. And now let's get into this amazing conversation that we had with Nirmal sir. Let's get started. Hi, namaste sir.
Namaste.
I'm so happy to do this podcast. So before we start, I think ma afno pani alikati introduction didinchu. So I'm Suruchi. म चाहिँ अहिले युएसमै छु आई एम अ स्टुडेन्ट राइट नाउ कम्प्युटर साइन्स स्टुडेन्ट एन्ड सो या आई हेभ बिन मेकिङ दिज भिडियोज अन फ्युचर रेडी नेपाल फर क्वाइट सम टाइम एन्ड या सो आइ एम सो ह्याप्पी एन्ड ग्ल्याड टु हेभ यु ओभर हियर एन्ड टक अबाउट all these, and since you're from the data science community and all, so I think this is going to be really valuable for me personally too.
Yeah, that's good. I'm also excited to be part of this.
So सबैभन्दा पहिला तपाईं अलिकति आफूलाई इन्ट्रोड्युस गरिदिनु न and your background, what you have been doing right now.
Yeah, so thank you for having me on the show. मेरो background I came to US 2007 for my master's. I finished my master's and then 2009 was a great recession time in the US. So I think it was not a great time to graduate. There was nothing on my control. त्यसपछि tech industry I applied a lot of jobs, couldn't get because of the market. Then through my friends, म न्युयोर्क सिटीमा थिएँ, अपस्टेट न्युयोर्क मेरो कलेज. अनि एकजना मेरो साथी न्युयोर्क सिटीमा बस्ने उसले चाहिँ त्यो युएस मिलिटरीको म्याभनी भन्ने प्रोग्रामको बारेमा उसले सुनेर छ अनि he was also getting processed for himself. अनि उसको थ्रुबाट मैले त्यो थाहा पाएँ अनि I processed my own application. Everything worked out and then I went to US military. I worked for 4.5 years in the US Army, and then I came out. Another 5 years I worked with federal government as a data analyst in the cybersecurity space. And I think that is what created my interest. मेरो त्यो first data analytics role भनौँ. त्यसपछि I started getting more fascinated towards data and especially in the cyberspace. अनि त्यसपछि I joined UCST, University of California, San Diego for my another master's in data science. And that data science degree गरिसकेपछि it opened up few doors for me about opportunities. एउटा चाहिँ अब सबै working professionalsहरू थियो त्यो प्रोग्राममा अनि that is why I think I got to connect the private industry outside industry besides government. But not federal government is limited, especially for growth in tech. So त्यसपछि I started applying data scientist title roles. Then I got my first data scientist role with Wells Fargo. And again, I realized that maybe cybersecurity I worked for a long time. अनि यो डेटा साइन्समा चाहिँ डोमेनको चाहिँ इट्स अ की एउटा भ्यालु हुन्छ किनकि अब डेटा साइन्स धेरै फिल्डमा एप्लिकेबल हुन्छ तर साइबर सिक्युरिटीमा मैले एक्सपिरियन्स काम गरिसकेको भएर अनि I felt like there were some gaps working in the finance. So I wanted to go back to cyber. And I applied roles in Microsoft for cybersecurity data scientist, and I got the job, and here I am.
Right. That is very inspiring. And I have a question, like from your journey. So you said, "Tapai yaha huda त्यो great recession भयो, and you were in this situation of not getting a job and all." So as per my experience right now, that is maybe not that level, but the tech industry right now in US is not the best in hiring and all. Although I'm not graduating right now, I have friends around me who are graduating, and कसैको पनि जबै पाइरहेको छैन अनि a lot of people are in a lot of stress right now. So do you have anything to say about that, how to tackle this kind of a situation?
Yeah, so very good point. अहिले अब मैले यो mentoring sessionsहरु पनि गरिरहेको हुन्छु. So I actually hear this same comment from many folks who are actually getting ready to graduate or already graduated. अहिले अब I don't know how we can compare 10 years back with that type of recession with this. I mean, things are different, market is different.
Right.
However, I do admit that the time is very tough right now as well. किनभने अहिले तिम्रो अब companies are laying off and to lay off भएको employees are out in the market. I also know some of my friends who has actually downgraded their own experience to get a job.
Okay.
And there is compulsion, about H1B active राख्नु पर्यो हैन अनि there are so many reasons they are doing it. Some of them are taking a pay cut, some of them are downgrading their experience level, त्यसको impact भनेको अर्को ripple effect चाहिँ new grads अथवा unexperienced folks जो मार्केटमा आइरहेको छ उनीहरूलाई पर्छ because now they are competing with the pool of people who already have experience. अनि application pickup हुने बेलामा prioritize हुन्छ obviously अब companies will prioritize based on the experience, subject matter expert they're looking for, and that's where the new grads feel the folks are getting more pressure right now. त्यो competition एउटा कुरा भयो. अर्को कुरा अब पहिलाको जस्तो एकदमै active hiring पनि छैन companiesहरुमा. Even in Microsoft, they are saying that they are hiring, but it's a little bit of cautionary hiring. हैन पहिला जस्तो त्यो COVID time को त्यो durationमा at least 1 or 2 years, 2020 or 2021 ma a lot of companies overhired the people. And that's why they are saying now that they had to get rid of a lot of the folks, right? मेरो suggestion भन्नु पर्दा I think I would suggest people to look for multiple job titles. Don't only rely on one. If you are in data analytics, there are more options: data analyst, BI engineers, data scientist to the product side, or data scientist to the ML side. If you are more into software engineering, you can also look into service reliability engineer, which is SRE. Those titles are being popular. Support engineers, security engineers. So I suggest people not to look for specific titles, but look for some variations along the same titles, and creates more opportunities, more options to apply. So also another thing I suggest people, I talk to mentees, and some of them say that, hey, I have a very big passion to work for the top tech companies, right, or FANG companies in a way. And I mean, when the competition is high, त्यो FANG मा मात्रै गर्छु भनेर बसेर I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm suggesting go for like the startups, go for mid-tier companies. It doesn't really have to be top-tier companies to start your career. And work your way through, right? So that is my suggestion.
So the times are tough. I see my friends around and they're gonna graduate this week, literally, and they still don't
Yeah.
have jobs. So I can see the panic.
Yeah, I know. I can relate to that myself. There's a lot of things comes, especially for the international
Yeah.
students, who not only have to worry about finding a job in a tech, but then your clock starts running.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I have felt it myself, and
Mhm.
I wish them all the best, and hopefully things will get better.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, they can connect. I mean, anyone listening to this podcast later, they can connect me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of these sessions on the top mate, helping them
Mhm.
for resume reviews, stuff like that. So
Yeah. मेरो चाहिँ एउटा question छ. So I came with a plan that you सोध्छु, but then I don't think that it's going that way. But I see not a lot of people are very they don't use LinkedIn a lot, and LinkedIn like use pani कसरी गर्ने to reach out to people and network and these things. Do you have any suggestions around here? Does cold emailing work? Should you cold email or not? And like यत्तिकै apply गर्न भन्दा
yeah,
I have heard that referrals work more. How do you find those things?
yeah, there's no doubt referrals works better than the cold application or just straight application on the websites, because most of these applications, when they look into their portal, it comes through different pipelines, right? So if it is coming from referral, I mean, it is going into their different set of database to look at it. And I think LinkedIn, I suggest people to, as soon as they get into the college, at least start creating it, have your profile close to completeness. It doesn't have to be everything, but at least have the most current education, the projects that you have done, like it doesn't really have to be work. It can be academic projects you can add, your skills certification that you are getting. It's just because you can sometimes get in the eyes of recruiters when they are looking in the system. अनि अर्को कुरा भनेको अब networking is very powerful in my opinion. अहिलेको मार्केटमा अब I suggest people to go कुन चाहिँ डोमेनमा इन्ट्रेस्ट छ होइन, अब त्यही डोमेनको मान्छेहरू, अब जो सिनियर लेभलको मान्छेहरू, whenever you see the hiring post from the managers, try to connect with them, write a draft, a really good message that, hey, I saw the post of the job, I feel like I'm a good fit, I will love to chat or touch base on it. Even nothing works, and if he or she accepts the connections, you are building that for me next time, right, or something. I think the worst people can say is no, but if you don't send any message or any connections, I mean, I haven't started anything, right? So in my opinion, I think you should work towards building your network, and then ask for referrals when they can, right? So even Microsoft मैले कति अब आफूले usually referrals are for the people who you have worked with, but there are options that you can put that I know this person but I haven't worked with them, so there are kind of like options like that, which is being transparent and honest to the company that I am referring someone who I see a potential fit because of the skills and resume I have seen, but I haven't worked with that person, right? So it's okay. So I am helping with referrals for some of the folks that I connect on the mentorship calls, and so a lot of people can do that for them. So you have to approach it in the right way, right? So
right. Okay, so alikati यसबाट बाहिर जाँदै let's get back to your journey. So हजुर चाहिँ 2007 मा आउनु भएको, as far as I remember.
Yes.
So त्यति बेला र अहिलेमा obviously there are a lot of differences. अहिले नेपालमा मोस्टली कोहीसँग पनि कुरा गर्दा +2 सकेको छ भने मलाई बाहिर जान छ भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ हैन. What was the situation in 2007 and how did you think that म बाहिर गएर पढ्छु भनेर?
Yeah, I think it was अब अहिलेको सिचुएसन म एक्ज्याक्टली एक्सपिरियन्स नगरे भएर म भन्न सक्दिनँ, तर मेरो सिब्लिङ्सहरू, मेरो सानो like 10 years gap ma, I have a younger brother. So his time of looking into the process of going abroad, and my time was a little different.
Mhm.
मेरो time because it was not as prominent as now. Like, hey, right now I
Yeah.
think right after the +2, your first goal is to apply schools and college outside and go, right? Uh, and that could be one reason that I came from masters, not undergrad. अब अहिलेको टाइममा भएको भए म सायद अन्डरग्राडमै आउँथ्यो होला हैन। त्यो टाइममा चाहिँ अब अन्डरग्राडको एटलिस्ट कल्चर चाहिँ अब you do your 4 years of study in Nepal because going abroad comes with its own struggle. I knew some of my friends left. I also started actually applying schools. I had like 3 or 4 I-20s from different colleges for my undergrad as well.
Oh, okay.
The reason I didn't go is I started getting some suggestion or advice from my older cousins. You know, they are saying that, hey, they have friends who is coming here in US for undergrad, and 4 years of the commitment can become the little bit hard because of if you get a good scholarship, full scholarship, it's more achievable. But then initial investment is already big. I mean, dollar investment from our country is huge, right? So, and I don't want to go back to ask for every semester for the fee with my parents, right? And it's going to cost a lot. So comparing all those things, I decided that masters ma at least 18 months to 2 years some program I will be able to do some side work or even in college or outside of college and manage it. Somehow I will manage it, right? Undergrad is a long commitment. So मेरो पालामा चाहिँ masters मा जाने ट्रेन्ड चाहिँ थियो, undergrad मा जाने ट्रेन्ड त्यस्तो थिएन. अहिले चाहिँ if I look back, I think because of a lot of the situations or people are not willing to stay to do the undergrad and they come here for undergrad.
Yeah.
उनीहरूको स्ट्रगल अब अलिक बढी हुन्छ, द कमिटमेन्ट चाहियो, डेडिकेसन चाहियो. 4 years 4 years भनेको it's not easy.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
Okay.
But त्यसको प्लस साइड छ तर they will actually build their foundation from the 4 years degree here. If someone is committed and able to do it, I think it's good. It's very good because you get to learn a lot, right? यहाँको college life experience हुन्छ सबै कुरा. I mean, masters मा आउँदाखेरि 2 years it went by so fast.
Yeah.
I couldn't even realize that. Yeah, what was the fun that people talk about college?
True. म पनि यहाँ अब म चाहिँ ग्रेड स्टुडेन्ट हो, सो आई हेभ in my class students who have studied from here and also India, Nepal, but even students who have done their undergrad in US itself. And तिनीहरूको way to approach things in class is so different than us. हामी सबै कुरा डेडलाइनमै गर्छौँ अनि उनीहरू त पहिले फर्स्ट डेमा भ्याइसक्यो हुन्छ सबै कुरा. So that is something that I have been learning since I came here.
Yeah. So that's the peer pressure you get.
ग्रुपमा पनि काम गर्दा they have a extremely different approach and also हाम्रो अलिकति सार्ने बानी पनि भएको हुन्छ उताबाट पढेर आएको अनि इन्टरनेटबाट हेरेर सब कुरा गरिदिन्छु भन्ने यिनीहरू त सब स्क्रैचबाट गर्छन्. Also अनि त्यसपछि तपाईको अब मास्टर्स भइसकेपछि as you said आर्मीमा like I guess army, right?
Yes.
Yeah. त्यहाँ तपाईले एप्लाई गर्नुभयो. I did not know that you can apply as a international student in this.
Yeah. I think you cannot. There was a special program so that MABNI मैले भनेको चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ मिलिटरीले त्यो बेलामा US Army like they needed more people. They wanted people from diversified backgrounds. So they started this pilot program. So it ran for I think 6 years overall. And they shut it down. So त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ अब के अरे as long as you meet the criteria, they have some restrictions like US आएको at least 2 years हुनुपर्ने अनि US छोडेको 30 days भन्दा बढी अर्को कन्ट्रीमा बस्न नहुने अनि सबै ब्याकग्राउन्ड चेक्सहरू पास हुनुपर्ने, फिजिकल टेस्टहरू, इनिसियल एसेसमेन्टहरू अनि रिटर्न इक्जाम्सहरू उनीहरूको थियो. But obviously once you pass all those, they will take you. अनि अब US आर्मीमा गइसकेपछि इमिग्रेसनको पाथ चाहिँ अलिकति अब स्ट्रेट फरवर्ड हुन्छ. So I didn't have to go through the H-1B process, stuff like that, because they will naturalize you to give the citizenship path earlier. then there was some of the things like you signed the contract for at least 4 years besides the training. So with the training, like that's why my overall time was 4 years and 10 months. The 10 months was just the training. अनि त्यो बेलामा I know a lot of people get in from Nepal, from India, from other countries. One of the criteria was to speak multiple languages as well.
Okay.
So they started getting a lot of the people, right? So
yeah, okay, got it. Because right now I go to career fairs in my university. The army related case, they make sure they tell us that if you're not a US citizen, this is not applicable to you. So,
yeah, they discontinued. I think that was very valuable program for some people like myself. Like I did have some interest to military as well. मेरो मामा नेपालमा military हुनुहुन्थ्यो अनि he used to take me to military barracks and all, and I had that some exposure in in my college undergrad. So about I never thought about आएर US मा आएर US Army हुन्छ भनेको सोचेको थिएन हैन. That was out of the blue भयो. तर अब कसैलाई इन्ट्रेस्ट पनि हुन्छ, अलिअलि इन्ट्रेस्ट हुन्छ अनि फेरि आफ्नो करियर पनि सेट हुन्छ. अब इट इज I mean it is a commitment. 4 years गाह्रो हुन्छ, सजिलो छैन. But it is good decision if I look back now, because I learned a lot actually. किनभने धेरै कुरा पनि सिकिँदो रहेछ. अब यहाँको मान्छेहरूसँग धेरै कल्चरली फिट हुन सिकिन्छ. धेरै नै कुरा सिकिन्छ भनौँ. अब लाइक दे विल टिच अस. अनि त्यो कति स्किल्स अब मिलिटरीको प्रोफेसनल करियरमा पनि ट्रान्सफरेबल हुन्छ. अब फर मी इट वाज लाइक टिम वर्क, कम्युनिकेसन्स, अनि त्यो इन्टेग्रिटी भ्यालुज, यो सबै कुराहरू जति मिलिटरी डिसिप्लिन्सहरूमा राखेर सिकाएको छ, त्यो कुराहरू बाहिर प्रोजेक्टमा यताउति गर्दाखेरि अब some skills are directly used, some are indirectly used, but it can be used definitely.
Right. Okay, so म तपाईको LinkedIn profile हेर्दै थिएँ अनि I came across a post where you were featured in TimeSquare or something like. Can you explain about that? That was very interesting.
Yeah. So I did a lot of the mentoring sessions initially just by myself, putting in the Calendly, मेरो आफ्नो LinkedIn मा चाहिँ त्यो Calendly availabilityहरू सेयर गरेको थिएँ. अनि त्यहाँबाट पपुलर भयो मैले चाहिँ अब धेरै मान्छेहरूले इन्ट्रेस्ट देखाए कि they are gaining a lot of insights and help from my those kind of calls. त्यसपछि एकजना साथीले मलाई टपमेटको बारेमा सेयर गर्यो. त्यो मलाई थाहा थिएन टपमेट. अनि टपमेटमा चाहिँ इफ यु जस्ट बिल्ड माई पेज भनौँ न, मैले गरेर मेरो पेज क्रिएट गरेँ. अनि इफ योर स्टोरी बिकम्स रियली पपुलर, दे विल पिक द्याट स्टोरी टु showcase in the TimeSquare Billboard रहेछ. अनि मैले मेरो journey from US Army to data scientist in Microsoft भन्ने एउटा पोस्ट हालेको थिएँ, and that post became viral. And they had some requirement in the post that hey, I have to tag the top mate, like saying that hey, if you need help, come to find me in the top mate, and that was what I added. They count the number of likes, comments, things like that, so they will rank the post for that particular week or something, and then select one to broadcast in the TimeSquare. And my post became number 1 to be selected. And then they asked me, hey, this is the particular day we are, doing your, I think it's 10 seconds video on the Billboard. And they asked me a few photos, like what do you want to include and what story you want to share. And then I sent them, and I was there. And it was, I mean, kind of like very touching for me because of coming to New York as a first when I landed. And New York City was the JFK was the airport I landed because my friend was already here. He came to pick me up. It was around afternoon, and then I insisted him to take me to TimeSquare because Nepalबाट अब सबै त्यो skyscraper buildingहरू हेरेको. अनि I actually went the first day I landed in New York to visit the TimeSquare. And then lastमा ultimately I mean I was in one of those billboards भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think I was really happy and touched.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Like धेरै जनाले यस्तो सोच्नु पनि हुन्छ नि, मेरो पनि यस्तो आयो हुन्थ्यो पिक्चर यहाँ. That is very interesting. When I saw that post, I was like, "Esko bare mein to sochu ma."
Yeah, that was the story behind it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. मलाई याद आयो म के सोध्न आँटेको थिएँ. So, since you're in the data science community, tech community भनौँ न, अनि हाम्रो नेपालबाट अहिले चाहिँ मैले हेरेको धेरैजना कम्प्युटर साइन्स अथवा डेटा साइन्सतिरै के पढ्न खोज्दै हुनुहुन्छ. एन्ड इभन म कति हेर्छु होइन, कोही इन्भाइरोमेन्ट साइन्स पढ्नु भएको पनि ग्रेजुएटमा आउँदाखेरि डेटा साइन्समा आउन खोज्दैछु भनेर मलाई मेसेज आइरहेको हुन्छ कि. अनि समटाइम्स फर मी इट फिल्स कसरी कोडिङ सिक्छ होला मान्छे, कसरी सबै ट्रान्जेक्सन गर्छ. बट देन पिपल हु आर थिङ्किङ टु गेट इन टु द टेक कम्युनिटी, वाट डु यु थिङ्क युएसमा चाहिँ वाट काइन्ड अफ फ्युचर क्यान यु ह्याभ? अहिले त अलि टफ टाइम्स छ, बट देन अभियसली इट विल गेट बेटर. सो तपाईँको यसमा के पर्सपेक्टिभ छ? सो डु यु गेट इन टु द टेक फिल्ड?
Yeah, so this is a good question. About tech overall, plus then I'll touch upon the tech overall, then maybe focus on data science side or data analytics, right? Because there's big demand. I didn't really mention or something about I wanted to switch my career to data analytics or data science one round. So I know I saw them the transition path. This is how you should follow or bridge the gap from the skill side. Overall, oily hard time by bunny, but tech industry is always going to be there and it's always booming. Like there has to be applications developed to do some new things. A lot of startups are coming up, and especially with this new wave of the LLM models and GPT models, it is opening up more opportunity actually, especially for companies to establish. And in a way, I think there's always conversation of AI taking over the job versus AI creating the job. यसमा मेरो चाहिँ point of view कस्तो छ भने अब there's always going to be human factor who is going to be orchestrating this your job, right? So as a data scientist, my daily tasks are mere ke hoina, but there's some of the tasks I can automate using the AI. So if I learn how to use effectively the AI to do my work, that doesn't mean that AI will take everything of my role, because there has to be a human piece to orchestrate that, right? So I have to control, I have to set up the things. Ultimately, there has to be a human loop involved for some of the reviews, compliance stuff, right? So in my opinion, it's there's some repeated jobs will go away, but it will probably create more, right? Tech is always going to be booming. There's no doubt. And to get into it, I think, especially if you are trying to go into the software side, like software engineering or something, without a strong CS background, it's going to be tough, because you're going to have to. And I know few folks have done it, just taking a long, like 6 months type of bootcamp training to learn everything and go to the coding, school and do it. I mean, it's not that you cannot do it, but the CS background will be a huge plus, right, for software engineering side. However, for the data science or data analytics side, I have seen people coming from so many diverse backgrounds. Like I was talking to one of my mentees. She was a tattoo artist in Las Vegas. And some from tattoo artist to data analyst, on the tech company. I mean, that was an inspiring journey in itself. So I have also known some people from photography or that kind of industry. When we think about it, is it even translatable to the data science when it's like side? It's possible. That's the beauty about data science. It welcomes all kind of domains. And the reason being for that is, in my opinion, data science ma ekdamai heavy code demand hudaina.
Right.
You need to have some analytical mindset. You need to have some problem solving mindset. On Python is very easy to learn. It's not like C++ kind of language, like it's very abstracted at the high level. You can learn very, very easily. And then if you know some SQL to do some data collection, manipulation, and Python for data analysis. And then if you learn one data visualization tool, and data visualization, presentation, storytelling, these all are very skills that anyone can pick up. right?
Sure.
Without the need of, I think, the strong computer science background. And that is the reason that a lot of people are spending some time, dedicating time to build the skills and coming in. And the job demand, especially in, data scientist title itself is very misused and inflated now. However, I suggest every time I talk to folks, I suggest them to look for other type of roles within the analytics, right? So it could be data engineer, BI engineer, data analyst, data visualization expert, or anything. There's so many titles floating around depending on what is your requirement. Don't set the stone that I want a data scientist title, you can always later navigate to a different title or different job, right? So and I think that is the reason that data science is attracting a lot of people that want to ask the environment science and I have seen many people like even from chemical engineering, manufacturing engineering. One thing is like every industry will have some kind of data, obviously. Even in the environment science, like you're going to be probably building the models like climate change prediction, a lot of this, things like that. Manufacturing, I was talking to one person from Tesla, who is process engineer. She's trying to change her job to data science. And she was telling me that she works with the data every day, which is obvious. Now, all she has to do is add some skills from analytical side, and from process engineer to become data science. It's not that tough, right? So,
right. In fact, I'm into research a lot. So I'm doing a PhD, so I'm basically into research. So I see more computer science department ko bhaye pani, a lot of other departments, they come and collaborate with us because they need to show their data, show what they got, the results they got. So they need to collaborate with us to find the best possible way. They like code गरेर देखाउने हो कि visualize गर्ने हो कुनै राम्रो tool मा. So obviously everything is interconnected, I feel, these days. त्यो डेटा साइन्स अथवा कम्प्युटर्स युज नगरिकन त हुँदैन.
अब त्यो कम्प्युटर अलिकति एनालिस्ट स्किल त जेमा पनि आउँछ जस्तो लाग्छ अब किनकि अब we are surrounded by data on every field. So it will be always a handy skills to have.
Also there is this course तपाईलाई कतिको आइडिया छ त्यसको बारेमा, हेल्थ इन्फर्मेटिक्स भन्ने. मैले चाहिँ यही आएर थाहा पाएको. यसमा चाहिँ डक्टर्सहरु, मोस्टली डक्टर्सहरुले लिन्छन् अनि they are trying to bridge the gap between medical field and engineering or computer science field. So I found out that very amazing.
It's also called bioinformatics or something, health informatics. In fact, my wife was looking into that program because she's a nurse. And she wanted to see if she can bridge the gap. So instead of working in the bedside or the floor in a hospital setting, why not you use that experience that you have gained so far and then pivot towards the analytical side. So and healthcare informatics, I think it's a very interesting subject in itself. Because it's more designed for doctors, nurses, or anyone medical industry, because those are the people who understand the medical language, obviously the healthcare data language, right? So and then once they add some skills about data science, then they can become the technical folks analyzing the data or building models on it, right? So as of now, if I look at it, if for me to understand and learn the healthcare, it's going to take a little bit longer because maybe I have data science skills, but not the healthcare domain. And for my wife to pick up the data science skills, that could be a shorter journey for her because, and she already have a domain expertise working 10 years in the healthcare. So that is why this kind of titles are being very popular, where you just need to pick up some data analytical skills and then it opens up more doors for you, right? Opportunity wise. So
I have a friend here. One doctor, I think a radiologist, and he's he started like after he came into the program, he realized he can automate the X-ray ma ke bigdeko cha mancheko त्यो like diagnose गर्ने हुन्छ नि त्यो using AI, and now he is working on it, and like he created a product itself while he was in college. So त्यो हेरेर I was very like interested also कसरी यो सब हुन्छ. Like it would never come in my mind that I would diagnose using X-rays and all and implement it in the real world. Research सम्म त त्यही पनि गरिन्छ, but then taking it into the field, like
yes.
मेरो त कसले सुन्छ पनि होला, I'm not a doctor or no medical history background, right? So किन कसैले विश्वास गर्छ, but उहाँलाई त एकदमै विश्वास गर्छ नि सबले that what he might have done is good भनेर.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Okay, so अलिकति end तिर जाँदाखेरि I want to ask you, you have mostly answered this question कि tech industry कसरी हुन्छ US मा, यसमा आउँदा सही हुन्छ कि हुँदैन. But then what do you think, like 10 years पछि हेर्ने हो भने अहिले स्टुडेन्टहरु आउँदै होलान् भने undergrad grad मा आउँछन्, 10 years पछि there is a good industry, you can make your career here, or what do you have suggestions for people who are just coming into this industry, into this country?
Oh yeah, this is a tough question. We are living in the age where it's hard to predict the next year. So you're asking me 10 years. So it's gonna be a challenging one, but I'll try my best. I think there are a few things I feel like that's gonna remain regardless of how or which direction we are heading. And I don't know if OpenAI or any other Meta AI will crack the AGI and they will start coming up with, hey, now we can do a lot of the things, not only AGI, but the general intelligence as well, then it's going to be a tough call. But I think besides that also, I think data science or the data analytics space thing, I think it's going to remain and it's only going to grow. The reason is, if I look back 10 years, how much data we were generating in this world versus now, right? Like you can look back 10 years, like maybe some of the top applications didn't even exist.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of these companies like YouTube, like video, like right now, like people are into short videos.
Yeah.
There were days when people didn't mind to watch longer videos in YouTube.
Yeah,
and now like even 5-10 minute videos, people feel that this is long. So I think that the trend is changing. However, there is going to be tools like TikTok, right? So it comes. So with the customer's behavior or human behavior changes, so does the opportunity comes for the tech, right? And it's always going to be a tech. It's like, hey, someone is going to come with a really innovative idea to do something, right? However, any industry that I have seen so far, regardless of the audio data or video data or text data, I can actually see that everything is data in a way.
Yeah.
So moving forward, obviously, we may have different dimensions of data collection, different ways of interacting with the data or using the data, but there's always going to be opportunity for the data science field. Maybe new titles will evolve. I already see new titles evolving, like AI engineers, analytics engineer, and then there was one post from one of the content creator I've been following. They write about data analyst combined with the data engineer becomes the analytics engineer title. And then I was adding my comments saying that, hey, you need to add the applied science or the data science piece to it, and it becomes applied analytics engineer. So I was just making fun there, but right. I think this is how it's going to evolve, because it's going to probably change the roles and responsibilities based on how the market is trending or behaving. But there will always be data science job demand, and I'm pretty sure it may evolve to a different form, but at least it still remains, right? So I suggest people to do so maybe when computer vision was breaking the market, it was a big wave like this, when right now the GPT models are creating it. So there will be big waves like this coming in future for sure. And if I look at it, everything is around the data in a way.
Yeah.
And then I think the other industry is, I mean, I'm a little biased being a cybersecurity, but security will be becoming more and more, the important, because the more data we create, the more threat vectors we create, so it's all about like, I have more data, so that means I'm exposed more, so I need to protect more, right? So it's when we grow or make a bigger house, I need to come up with a better locking system, right? So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think the security industry will also have a huge demand, just because there's going to be a lot of adversaries, hackers coming up with these new techniques every day. And it's only scaling because there's new things coming up. Every new thing will always create another attack vector. So when internet first came in, like, I mean, now we are connected, all the machines are connected. That means now hackers have more ways to get in, penetrate, right? So and that's how it is. Like right now, like we're going to be using LLM models. So the first thing that Microsoft does, and that's one thing I admire about Microsoft, is like you don't do or put anything in production besides you do without doing the all the compliance and checks, right? So even they are in the forefront using all the, like right now I think we are in the best position to use all the OpenAI models, because they are the first one to have a collaboration with them. And it's still, for us to put any model in production, we have to go through a big process for responsible AI and stuff. And this is where I feel like the industry will head in 10 years.
That is a good insight. Okay, last question about like general advice. Koi pani student from Nepal, if they're coming to USA, how to just settle down or like adapt to the education system, or just make yourself more comfortable and homely in a completely new country where you know no one at all?
Yeah, I will try to answer this a little bit about how I felt and how I overcome that stigma of staying away from home and cultural shock, that kind of thing. And it might be helpful. And I think the first thing is, when you come in, always set up a right expectations. Don't come in with more higher expectations, right? I love this quote from the NVIDIA CEO. One of the Stanford meeting, he mentioned that pain and suffering will be creating more innovation ideas or things like that. So if you coming here with the higher expectation, and then like, hey, right after graduation, I'm doing a degree from the good university here, I should be able to find a job right away, and then your emotions will be shattered easily if you come with high expectation, right? On the other hand, when you have low expectations, something you achieve will be easy to value, right? So that is one thing. So always set your realistic or low expectations rather than higher expectations. The other thing is, first few months you will really feel lonely. It is natural, and everyone has gone through that. So you may feel like, hey, I'm away from home, things like that. But I think that will be over with time. So it just gives some time to that, and the other thing I suggest people is like, try to engage with the folks here, right? Like I know a lot of people like will finish the 2 years degree here, including myself. Actually, I was just talking to the friends from Nepal. I was just hanging out with the friends from Nepal. I never thought that I need to engage with the other people to experience culture, like different ways of living, things like that. And after I get into the military, I had no choice but to live with the diversified people, and I learned a lot. That is why I learned a lot, because you need to set yourself to engage with other people. The first thing I have seen in many students, including myself, like I said before, is we come here, then our friend circle becomes just a Nepalese community. Our the way we eat only becomes our kind of food. We are like, hey, why should we try new things?
Yeah.
And now we are feeling like we're just living here, but we are still not trying to open up for new things, right? So, and you need to open up and embrace the new things as you move along. So, and that will teach you a good habit of doing that kind of diversified and inclusion culture. And every industry follows that, right? And every industry, like whenever I go to work now, I mean, I have friends from everywhere. I have friends from Puerto Rico, I have friends from Cuba, I have friends from some friends from US. So, and this is, I think that's what brings the power to the room, that you have multiple faces from multiple cultures, right? So
yeah, that was a very good insight, and मलाई नै यति भ्यालुएबल लाग्यो यो डिस्कसन.
Yeah.
आइएम स्योर हाम्रो अडियन्सलाई त एकदमै धेरै भ्यालुएबल हुन्छ. And because a lot of audience who watch our videos are around computer science or trying to come to US in computer science domain or tech industry, so I'm sure they will gain a lot of insights, and I'll make sure to leave your LinkedIn link in the description so that people can connect.
Yeah, people can. I'm more than happy to help. Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this with us and joining us here. I hope.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and it was very fun and very natural experience. That I didn't prepare any questions, but the flow was very organic. I enjoyed it, and hopefully our audience will enjoy it too. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.